This is Dan Joyce, and I'm an associate professor in the School of Dance at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm here to talk a little bit about your choreography. I'm going to start with the Grassroots group. And I really wanted to congratulate everybody on taking this challenge on. I really applaud your courage in showing your imaginations. I think it takes a lot of bravery to do that under any circumstances, and then also to ask for feedback about it is particularly courageous. Just to say a little bit about myself and where I'm kind of coming from with my choreography, or with my feedback about your choreography. I'm not really a skating person, although I have watched skating for many years and have read a lot about skating and seen it of course, on television and in various venues of professional shows, and read a lot about it. But I'm really a dance person, so I'm kind of coming from that angle of the non-verbal, bodily, expressive things that we call dance in its many forms. I'm really very appreciative of everybody's efforts in this challenge and for all of the work you've done with this. I'm going to encourage everybody to keep looking for inspiration from all fields that you can be exposed to: skating, dance, theater, art, literature. As a choreographer, really anything can inspire you. But inspiration is that thing that sometimes we have to go looking for. We can't necessarily depend on it finding us. So I encourage you to go out and to be exposed to the world, and to remember that your mind is also a muscle, and that creativity is something to be practiced and exercised also, as you have done here. Okay, so to get into my specific feedback, I'll start with Aaron. And Aaron brought us a Snow White inspired evil queen with a mirror and a poison apple piece. I would have liked to have heard what the music was. You didn't really note where your music was coming from, and I think that's always a good idea, to just inform people of what your music is. I thought the reflection idea was really good, and you could have even kept that going more, the hand looking into the mirror thing. But I also wondered could it have been expanded to like looking at the ice and imagining that the mirror was on the ice, or that the mirror was at the boards, or that you took that idea and developed it a little bit more. Really good musicality throughout this piece, I thought. The movement was really well coordinated with the movement. The musical accents and the jumps, I thought, really went together nicely. Maybe it would have been better to use more space, and to remember that the environment, the space that you're working in, can help you tell the story also. And speaking of the story, it got a little lost for me as it went on. I thought you could have actually been even more evil. Evil is fun, and usually actresses, they'd much rather play the bad girl than the good girl. And I thought that you maybe could have had a little more fun with your evil. It had a clear beginning, middle, and end, and I thought the structure, your structure, was supported by the musical choices. There was a section towards the end where you seemed to be casting a spell that I thought just got too static, and while you can do things that don't move in the space, remember, skating kind of depends on movement, so I wondered if that could have, maybe locomoted somewhere more. Overall, I thought it was really a nice job, and I would recommend, as I will to a lot of people today, think of developing a single idea more. And I gave you, Aaron, I awarded 3 stars. So moving on to Amanda, who did the Neverland sort of Peter Pan idea. I think it had a really good start, that actually the beginning could have gone on even a little bit longer for me, and developed its idea a little bit more again. Really interesting, dramatic, full-bodied movement. I thought it matched the energy of the music really well. Flying is a great idea. That's kind of license to steal if you say that you're going to do something about flying. There was one particularly nice sort of musical and movement section, I thought, where you were sort of in one spot and there was a lot of torso movement that then led into this beautiful spiral that I thought happened just wonderfully kind of with the music and kind of with great energy also. I thought you captured the effervescent fun that flying would be. Again, you know, if you have an image that is really fun, then that needs to be expressed, and what could be more fun than flying? A lot of interesting variety in the steps. I thought particularly your use of your edges was really good. I get the essence of the idea, although not really a specific story, and I think that that's fine. It maybe, though, could have been more personal. And always, you know, we have the challenge of making the personal universal. And so I wondered if there might be a little more personal edge that you could have brought to it. And I have to say, I liked the walking off, actually. It was like you flew and you landed and you walked out. And I awarded that 3.5 stars. Moving on to Samantha. Again, sort of similar to Aaron, the idea of an evil character who's, you know, in love with their own reflection, which is sort of the Greek Narcissus myth, actually. This sort of evil but beautiful character. Again, I thought it was a good start. The beginning of it was very clear. Rock and roll music is so sort of out there. Again, I feel like that's kind of a license to steal, and I wish you'd maybe stolen a little bit more. I felt as the music went on, it kind of overpowered the piece. I didn't really get the transition, and transitions are always really hard. But I didn't really get the transitions between part 1 and part 2. The story, again, was not really very clear to me, but I thought that the movement had great energy to it. I would encourage you to keep going for movement invention, especially with music that is this kind of different and out there. Then that really gives you a lot of opportunity to invent new movement that we haven't seen. Also, I thought there was a point where you referenced the boards again as sort of, you know, kind of coming back to the mirror idea, and it was again that sort of like, you know, one idea that doesn't really develop very much, and then we're sort of on to the next one. So don't be afraid to have one clear idea that then you kind of wring dry for a while. Develop single ideas more. Okay, and maybe got a little hyperactive for me, but so don't be afraid to be specific, I think is what that means. But really good energy, and go for movement invention. And I awarded this piece 3 stars also. Finishing up with Katie, I really want to applaud Katie for using her own experience, or an experience that was very profound for her. I think that's especially difficult when you use experiences from your own life or a real situation. I thought it was very heartfelt, your performance and your choreography. But I'm going to say that for me the music was a little bit too cliched and obvious. Though I appreciate your ideas. It was maybe a little bit too literal. I thought it could have incorporated the partner more, even if not in a movement way. Perhaps we could have seen him sort of watching, and then he went in and out of it. He kind of comes out of nowhere and then disappears to nowhere. I think it's very difficult to mix comedy and tragedy, which you attempted to do in this piece. I thought the story was really clear, but again, the transitions were very sort of abrupt, and for me kind of unsatisfying. It really just sort of clicked from one piece of music to the other. Maybe go also, my suggestion for you about this would be to go for more subtle musical choices. And sometimes when we want to use music that is very well known, the way to go is to use a version of it that is not so well known, and then that makes you hear it sort of in a different way, even though you're still familiar with what the tune is. A good website for this that you might want to investigate is called Pandora, and I'm sure there are others, and you can put in the title of almost any song or the composer of any music, and it will give you every possible version of that tune. So maybe rather than going for the most obvious choices, try to find ones that are a little bit more subtle, I think. And I awarded this piece 2 stars. So I thank you guys a lot. It was a lot of fun